Hello folks, this is Scott Grove from GroovyMusicLessons.com. Had a few people request that I give them a few pointers about beginner guitar and about taking lessons and about which guitars to use, where to take lessons, just how to get the whole thing started. Okay, number one, if this is for a child or a kid, and I'm talking, let's say 12 years and younger. Okay, the main thing to remember here as far as when purchasing a guitar is do not buy it online. Okay, parents who are probably watching this, go to the music store, and this is a very dangerous place to go to. It really is, unless you have this information. A lot of people will give you this information who are not trying to sell you an instrument. And I'm not trying to sell you an instrument, and I'm not trying to sell you lessons today, okay? Just because I give lessons doesn't mean I'm trying to sell them to you. I will get to that in a little bit, and I will actually promote somebody more than myself to do such things, especially for the kids. But when you go to a music store to look for that first guitar, where parents always make the mistake is they go in there and they expect to find everything all at once, which you should do, but it's not as much as you think. Number one, you should always, always, always skip the idea that they're going to need lesson books and things to teach them how to play. Get that out of your head right off the bat. And I will get into this in a little bit. The worst thing you can do is get a child started in lessons where you take them to a music store or to a actual person to learn how to play. You're wasting your money, you're wasting their time, and so forth. Okay, children definitely of that age have no attention span. It's proven to be 10 minutes at the most before they're off wanting to do something else. Okay, so you're paying for a babysitter, and you're paying a lot of money for lessons. Your lessons can actually be free on the internet. And if you are afraid of internet lessons, then I will tell you shortly how to get those, how to get them for free, and your child will learn much, much, much faster than they ever possibly could with a teacher. And you can basically probably get your child to learn for free all the way through, from beginning to end, you know, to as good as they ever need to be. Okay, now when you take them in to look for that, or you go in to find that first instrument for them, because you'll probably buy it as a gift. Again, do not buy it online because it's pretty and it's pink for the girl, or it's, you know, shaped like a transformer for a boy, or any other reason. Find out. You'll probably know right away because of the iPods or whatever you've already got for the kids. Are they wanting to play classical music, Mozart and Bach and all that stuff? Chances are probably not, but chances are the uneducated parent would probably go in and buy a classical guitar. So don't do that to the poor kid. Okay, most high school or grade school programs, band, will have you play, or actually make you buy a classical guitar to learn in school with. I would say don't put the kid in school band to play guitar at all, if that's what they're going to do, because they are so incorrect. And the classical guitars are the ones, and I'm just going to break off a ukulele because I have one laying right here. They're the ones that have these nylon strings on them. Okay? Now the thing is that the neck on them is wider than any guitar kind that there is. Okay, here's an acoustic guitar. Some of you call it a box guitar or just a guitar. Of course, all the electric stuff's hanging behind me, and I will tell you the difference between them and which one you should get for your kid, just by answering 2 questions or so. Anyway, those classical guitars they have the widest neck or fingerboard, fretboard. These are frets, these little metal lines you see across here. You don't need to know that, but the kids will eventually. But whether it's for yourself or your kids, it doesn't matter. But that neck is so wide on classical guitars that a kid that's 10 years old or younger will not be able to wrap their hands around there to even be able to play anything. So don't get it. Granted that the nylon strings feel a little bit easier on the fingertips than does anything else. Okay, but unless they're playing classical music, there's no reason to buy a classical guitar. Okay, and that would be, again, 9 times out of 10, that's what you would end up buying somebody online. If you were to shop online, you would just say, oh, let me get that, you know, it's $12.95. Now, yes, you can buy great guitars for little to no money, but don't buy those. You're just going to find balsa wood things that will fall apart. And what will make anybody quit lessons is for them to be sore, or for them not to be happy with something, or, you know, it hurts to play. Then you buy them something that sounds like a Jack-in-the-Box instead of a Van Halen guitar thing. You know, they want to play some heavy stuff, and you just gave them something that they can only you know, play the theme from Dumbo on, or Tchaikovsky's, you know, whatever. You know, you got to give them the right tools for what they're going to play. So, do you get the kid a little tiny guitar? Well, if they're that young, yes, they make 3/4 size guitars, which are fine, and they make quality ones out there. Ask the salesman to let you play the guitar is the biggest thing. Okay? If you want to get them a non-electric guitar, an acoustic, okay, is that what they want to play? Because you can get acoustic guitars and electric guitars for the same price. Yes, with an amplifier and everything. So if the kid wants to play rock music, don't get him an acoustic guitar just because it's a beginner thing. Because if they want to play rock, they're not going to be inspired by something that sounds, you know, like Peter, Paul, and Mary. It's like if they want rock music, get them a guitar that is capable of sounding like what they're wanting to play. If there's no interest there, no inspiration, they're not going to play. Okay, so again, you go in, have the salesman, if he knows how to play, that's a biggie. Find somebody that knows how to play. Have that person teach you how to simply play one chord on a guitar, you know, which would involve 2 to 3 fingers. Hold that chord on there that they teach you for 10 to 15 seconds, and just sit there and kind of strum on it. And then see if it hurts your left hand, the one that will actually be up here on the neck. This one. Okay? Do that for 10 or 15 seconds. If you're done and your fingers hurt, what's that going to do to a young person's hands? Okay, so that means either the guitar is not set up properly, which is a sign of a bad music store. They should set up all of their guitars when they come in. Okay, either that, or ask them if it can be set up for no additional charge. Otherwise, have them show you a different guitar until you find one that you can play, that then you can deduce, say, well, my youngster might be able to handle that much pain, but for how long? For a lesson. Can they handle that for a half hour? If you are stubborn and make them go to lessons, which, again, please don't ever put yourself through that. And there's the money that people charge for lessons is crazy, insane. And again, we are in the world of the internet, so again, personal lessons are extinct. There is the old lady down the street, no. The young kid down the street, no. The guy that was in the band Cinderella back in the 80s and he has no gig anymore, no. None of that. It doesn't matter. Online lessons are free, and they can be obtained so much easier. And again, they can learn at their own pace. They can see what they learned last week again, and just by simply, I wish the lessons I took, I wish I would have had some way of recording them at least, but never did, so I forgot everything from week to week to week, as will the kids. So don't waste your money on that stuff. Videos, you can rewind or go back and watch it again and again and again. If you take all that kind of time that you're taken to, you know, repeat and watch the videos, imagine how much time they're sitting there learning. I did this, I learned this. I remember that was my first song I learned. That was called the Cowboy Song. 9 half-hour lessons to learn that song. Okay? And that's because they're milking it out of you. Making these stores, they make you buy these stupid books of songs that nobody's ever heard of. Have you ever heard of that? Would you dance to it? Would you rock to it? Nobody would care. And they get money because, number one, whoever's teaching has to pay the store rental on the space, so they get money for that. They get money when your student buys new books to keep notes in, or new anything, or new guitars. They will try to sell you a new guitar every now and then because, oh, you got better. Time to, Mr. Johnson, it's time you buy your son or daughter a new guitar now that they're advancing. No, you get them one guitar that will last forever. Buy right the first time, and you can buy cheap, and it will be plenty until they can buy their own, basically. Okay, so again, if it hurts you to play it, it's going to hurt them. So, basically now it is it electric or acoustic? Again, if it's rock they want to do, buy an electric guitar and an amplifier. I will go through that with you. If it's an acoustic, again, it's just about, if it's not very big guitar, if you have a smaller child, ask for a 3/4 size guitar. Okay? But, and again, same thing. You can find great ones for very little money, but make sure that you can play it. If they can teach you to play one chord and sit there and hold it, and you just sit there and bang on that, say, you know, off with yourself, and take 15 minutes out for your kid, okay? Sit there and try to hold that chord and strum on it, take your hand back off, hold it again, play, and then put it back on. Just put that much effort and time into your kid, 15 minutes, and see how sore it is. If it's sore, go on to something else or go somewhere else, okay? Because while you're in the store, you can make up your mind. Yeah, okay, that looks about their size. You know, that they can't reach around a great big full-size guitar that's this big. You know, they make them in a bunch of different sizes, but 3/4 is the size you would ask for a smaller child. Okay, now if you do decide to go for the acoustic, like this, the main thing is, like I said, if it hurts to play. So look on the side, look at the strings, and see how far away they are from the frets. That, again, is these steel things going across here. These are almost touching them, which is a beautiful thing. You barely have to push these at all. So it almost, what they call, plays itself. I can sit here and play this without any strain or any anything at all for, you know, 10 hours and not get tired or fatigued in any way. Okay, because of just the way it's set up, and it's set up that way all the way down the guitar. I mean, when you get way down here at the end of the neck, this is the neck coming down here, when you get way down here, let's look into the side of that, those strings are still almost right on top of those frets. What you will notice with guitars that are horrible or just set up bad, I'm going to do this just to show you because this is the way it usually is. If you see a guitar where down at the end of the neck your strings are like that far off, go away from that guitar. Either that or make them set it up, or ask them if it can even be set up so that it actually looks like this from the side and is very easy to play all the way down. Same for electric guitars, of course, also. To tell you the truth, electric guitars are easier to play than acoustic guitars are. Electric guitars use much lighter, what's called string gauges. It just means that the strings don't have that much tension on them. They are not as thick as these strings are, blah blah blah. They are easier to push down. You can get the action much lower. The action meaning how far it is off of the neck, just by a couple little turns of a screw, depending on what kind of a guitar it is. You can do it yourself, but your first couple times you'll probably take it in to have it done, which you should never do either. learn how to do it online. It's all free right here to have. How to set up a guitar. So instead of paying 70 bucks at a music store for them to turn 2 screws, look on YouTube first and see if you can fix, you know, the kid's action for them, because it will change with the seasons. Well, guitar was great in the summer, now it's winter, now my strings are way off of it. It happens. It's humidity, and then guitars that are made out of wood, think about it. Leave a piece of wood outside, what does it do when it rains or it gets hot or cold? It warps. Your guitar is going to too. But it can be fixed with a couple of little adjustments. So just look online for how to set up a guitar. Okay, the other thing about guitars is they need to be tuned. So you can go out and you can buy, I've got them laying everywhere, at the music store, get a little tuner, 10 bucks. Or guitars like this, here's called a Washburn, is the name of it. It's the one that I recommend the most. Washburn, there's the name. All their guitars, even if they're not electric, a lot of them will come with a built-in tuner, as this one does. You just hit a little button on the side of it, and this tuner comes on right on the side, and I will get ready to tune one of these up. It's showing me that I have to tighten this. It's showing in the red. I'm tightening it just a little bit until it goes green. That means I'm in tune. Then I can go to the next string, you know, but most Washburn guitars have built-in tuners in them, even if they're not electric. Okay? So you may look for something like that so they can't lose the little thing. Okay, but you can get these guitars for like $69, $79 that have that built in already. The electric ones won't have it built in, but most acoustic ones, most acoustic Washburns will have that built in there for you. Okay, so that's basically it on the acoustics. The electrics, let's see, buying, again, just feel it, get something that looks like your child would like to play it. There are a lot of really cheesy brands out there, and it's going to be hard for you to know what's what. So talk to a salesman and tell him that you actually need something that's not going to fall apart on you. Chances are, if you go to Guitar Center, they're going to lie to you. It's just the way it is. Okay, they're one of the least trustable places around, because most of the people that work there don't know how to play. Sure, there's always going to be a couple few, you know, old guys like me that used to be in bands back when, that, you know, whatever, that have got old since the 80s, and we don't get out in the spandex anymore, so those guys still have to have a job. So again, you will find that guy that used to be in Winger or Rat or whatever, they'll be working at Guitar Center now just to have a job because they never learned to do anything else. Okay, so you might run into that, but try your local other stores, brick and mortar stores, before you go online again. Electrics, say, just again, for 60 to 80 bucks, whether it's, if you need used, you can get great, perfect used guitars in some of these places that look like brand spanking new. That'll be, of course, way better than the brand spanking new ones you buy, because, you know, it's just like buying a car. You drive it off the lot, it's worth half of what it was. So if you can find one that just got returned for some reason and got repaired and looks beautiful again, get that first, because you're going to save yourself a bunch of money. But you can buy a guitar and an amp in a package come Christmas time, again for about 80 bucks electric, with the amplifier and the tuner and guitar cord and a strap and picks and all that stuff. Make sure you get all that stuff. But again, learn online. Now, I wrote down this just so I would not forget. I won't even need the guitar anymore. Just feel the guitar, see if you think they can handle it, if they're a younger person. Now, if it's for you or anybody older, everything still applies. Okay? I'm just hanging this up so I don't knock it over, so I shall return. Okay, I'll keep talking while I'm here. You can hear me, of course. I've got one of those annoyingly loud voices and annoyingly loud tones, I know. I've been told many times. Again, if it's for the kid or if it's for you, whatever, just know that it has to fit your hand right. Okay, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, they make them all different widths on the neck. Some are really skinny that are full size, some are really, really fat. Some people just prefer different things. So try to, if it's for you, of course, play 20 of them just to feel what feels good and feel the difference between them, and then ask the salesperson, well, do you have one that feels like that one but sounds more like that one over there? Okay, that type of thing. One quick thing that I should maybe possibly, yeah, I will show you. If you are buying an electric guitar and you're wanting to play, this is not a 100% concrete thing, but pickups, that's these things. They basically act like a microphone, but they're magnetic, and that's what picks up the vibrations of the string and then sends them to the amplifier to make them louder. If you see just one row of screws or metal pieces on here, this is one also. They kind of look different, but if it's just a one row thing like this is what is called a single coil. Those basically give you a thinner country type of sound, unless you put an effect on there called distortion, which will get it more distorted, but it will generally be good for blues and such. When you get into guitars like this, or the Les Paul you see right back here, they will have two of those side by side. This is called a humbucker. These will be much just louder and are more geared towards the rock or the heavy metal or that kind of thing. So just know that the other one is twangier, and this one, you know, is more rock or heavy metal sounding in general. That's not just a totally true statement in every sense, because you could play any kind of music on any guitar, but just know that as you progress, and if you want to play heavy metal, you're not going to be wanting to play heavy metal on a Telecaster guitar instead of a, whatever, you know, a humbucker equipped guitar. Okay, I was going to tell you, do not ever, 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 under any circumstances, I know this goes on forever, but it's worth it, okay? Like I said, invest 10-15 minutes, in this case it'll be an hour, knowing how I just yammer on. But stay away from anything with Esteban on it, okay? It is not good, he is not good, there's nothing good about anything with his name on it, okay? So don't buy his lessons, don't buy his guitars just because they've been on TV. People sell them because they're horrible. Not one, I can say with all honesty that I personally think that not one person out there has ever learned a single thing from Esteban other than not to buy his stuff. Okay? He's not bad, he's not great out there playing. He's not very good at all, actually, but he has a career because there's not that many Latin artists to pick from. Okay, let's put it that way, that are his age. Okay, but for him to be a teacher, no. His instruments are horrible. You can't play them. The strings on them will be like this far off of the guitar neck. I mean, they're really like that. You can't play them, and if you have to push down that far, you're going to slice your fingers open like you're playing a cheese grater. Every guitar that he has ever put his name on is that way. Doesn't matter whether it's electric or acoustic. If you see Esteban's name on it, run. Okay? So just know that. Okay? So that's pretty much all I'm going to tell you about this right now. And electric guitars, they do not sound like hard rock unless there is distortion on there. So make sure the amplifier that you get has a built-in distortion effect. Ask the salesperson to show it to you. Otherwise, you're probably not getting a good amp, because the cheapest amp at Walmart has distortion on it. And have them show you how to get it, how to dial it in so it turns on. Otherwise, you have to go out and buy effects pedals. You know, these kinds of things, anywhere from 20 to 40 to 60, 80, up to $500 a piece if you buy vintage stuff, which you wouldn't be doing, but just know that that stuff lies ahead if you get sucked into this whole music thing. Nothing is better than music. I can't imagine life without it. It's just the coolest thing. Once you get bit by the bug, you're going to get bit hard. Now, the cool thing is, like I said, lessons for free for your kids online. If you don't let them online, but you have the ability to stand there with them and show them something, and you don't want them searching anything, especially YouTube, by themselves. And if you know how to download things off the internet, off of YouTube, you can get YouTube Downloader. It's free. Okay, it's a program. You can go on there and download it yourself. I would highly, highly, highly recommend Mr. Marty Schwartz. Okay, just look up Marty Schwartz for all the kids and the grown-ups. He's probably one of the most respected and known teachers around, and for a good reason. The man offers more free quality lessons with no vulgarity, which I throw in there. So if you're an older tattooed guy that just likes to, whether you're tattooed or not, I don't care. If you like no BS lessons, come to groovymusiclessons.com. And I mean, yeah, I'll make you learn more in a year than, or in one day than most people will teach in a year. But, and that is the truth. So come by and I have free lessons there, tons, hundreds and hundreds of hours of them. But yeah, I get out there. I'm an out there guy, but I'm like your best friend if your best friend is a foul-speaking, maniacal SOB. Put it this way, everybody that writes to me says, Scott, I like your no BS approach to, that's the kind of stuff I get, but I've never learned more. I've learned more in this week than I have in the past 10 years, is what I usually hear from most people. But Marty Schwartz is a very, very, very excellent teacher. He will get people there very quick. He is free. Of course he has paid lessons. I have paid lessons. He has paid lessons. We are very different style teachers. But Marty is for everybody. Okay? So just download his stuff or sit there with your kids and go through Marty's stuff. You'll find everything from the very beginning stuff to stuff later. They don't need, unless they are going to be a member of something like an orchestra or something like, bands like that are with Late Night with Jay Leno, or I guess he's not going to be around, Jimmy Fallon, I guess I better say, since he'll be here longer, or Letterman, or something where they're going to actually have to read sheet music. There is no need for them to read anything, so don't get books. Stay away from books. They're a waste of money, a waste of time, a waste of everything. You don't need to read for any reason unless you are going to be a studio session player or playing in a band that you have to read right then, right there. Because when have you ever went to a Kiss concert or a Pink Floyd concert or even a John Denver concert and ever seen anybody reading sheet music? It doesn't happen, people, so there's no need for it. Okay, so again, it's a whole different millennium. Do the free online lessons. Go see Marty. Okay? For you older folks that don't mind some cussing and some cutting up and some good old no BS stuff, groovymusiclessons.com. But either one of us will get you there just fine, and Marty is trusted by millions. You'll see his ratings and how many people subscribe to him. So go subscribe to Marty and come see me second if you like to get down and dirty and do these things I do. Go to my site again, groovymusiclessons.com. Go to where it says free lessons, check something out. If you can't deal with it, go back to Marty and say, hey, thanks Scott for the advice on the guitar thing, but heck with these lessons. Because Marty, like I said, is age friendly for everybody. Okay, so I'm just warning you, that is what it is. So once again, Scott Grove, just doing what a few people asked me to do, just kind of give you some beginner hints on what to do when it's time to go out there and do it. Do not pay for lessons. Don't go to anybody for lessons. Don't let them come to you for lessons. Okay, there's no need to do it other than online. Okay, and again, sit there with your kid if you have to, and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Make sure, and if Marty, I can't imagine Marty not being the right fit for anybody. Okay, and of course there are other people online but he is one that I can say without a doubt that you will learn from. And he will never cuss, he will never anything, so that will answer any other questions that you probably have for me at this point. Okay, I will. On the lessons you buy from me, I don't ever cuss, but on my free ones, yes. I'm just that guy, yeah. Okay, so go see, get the guitar that you can play too. If it's for you, then make sure that you can play it. If it hurts, then something is wrong with the way the guitar is set up, which means something is wrong with the store you're at. So go somewhere else, because if they don't set them up or take the time to, they're not going to take the time to make sure that you are getting fit with everything you need correctly. Go someplace where almost everything feels good, except for just the different sizes of the necks, so that they feel good to you and nothing hurts to play it. It fits in your hand nice. You can reach all the way to all 6 strings, or 4 strings, or 5 or 6 if you're a bass player. There are as many strings on guitars these days as you can imagine, but we'll stick to the beginning things now. So that's it. Hope you learned a little something, and come back and see me whenever you can or whenever you want. Otherwise, please go see Marty. Even if you're the best player there is, come see me. Even if you're the best player there is, you can always learn something, especially if it's country. Come see me. But go see Marty. He's, good all around dude for everybody of every age. You'll just learn like this in a music store or anybody else you'd hire. You will crawl. They will be selling you books and more guitars that you don't need. Okay, so again, buy right the first time, even if it's fairly cheap. Spend what you can afford, okay, because you want to buy right the first time. You know how it is with anything. You get what you pay for, you really do, but then there becomes a point where it's excessive. There's guitars out there, no problem, you can easily spend $10, $12, $14,000 on a guitar. Okay, are you going to do it right now? I hope not. But just because you can don't mean you should. Okay, because you can buy guitars that will be fine. If a Gibson Les Paul is all you've ever heard of your whole life and that's what you want, go plug it in first. See if that next to a Fender Stratocaster or a Telecaster or a Gibson SG or a Sears Silvertone guitar or whatever. How about this? How about just plug in a bunch of stuff, listen to them without looking at the brand name. That's usually best. Find out what feels, plays, sounds best to your ear. Even if the guy at the store has to play it, just whatever sounds best to you. And then buy it based on the sound of it. And then the way it feels before you look at a brand name, ever. Okay? But buy the best that you can afford to or are willing to put out. And then you'll never have to buy one again. You never say, well, I'm going to buy one first just to see if, they take, if they're going to catch on and start playing. They'll start playing if they enjoy playing the music that they like. Don't make them play garbage like they do at high school or in grade school. They will never like that. Let them learn the music they like to play. That's how you get them interested in playing. If, I know this is outdated already, but like Marilyn Manson, if that's what their thing is, they should start playing that. Yes, they can play it the first day, or you can. There's no reason you can't. You can play one thing, you can play Mary Had a Little Lamb the first day, but you can't play I Want to Rock and Roll All Night, Party Every Day by Kiss in one day. I'm sorry, but you can learn that in one day also, just as easy as Mary Had a Little Lamb. It's just a matter of who teaches it to you. Okay? So, I ramble on forever. Marty don't. Go see him. When you're done with him, come to groovymusiclessons.com, see me, and we'll talk later. Okay? Scott Grove saying bye, and thanks for your time.